Do you have a glute imbalance where one glute is smaller and also weaker than the other? If so, I know how frustrating it can be because it's inhibiting your overall glute growth and it may cause you to have injuries later on down the road. Some people may advise you to do more reps, but however, simply doing that isn't enough because the other glute is going to take over and the form is going to be bad. But here in this video, I am going to share with you all the real tools and tactics in order to fix the glute imbalance. Hello beautiful, welcome to the channel where we are striving to be the highest version of ourselves. My name is Scarlett and I am a fitness coach helping women transform their bodies to get slim, thick, fit and strong without worrying too much about food, while also feeling strong, healthy, fit and empowered, energized, so that you can be your most confident and your most empowered self. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to fix your glute imbalances with 6 practical tips and strategies on how to overcome them. So without further ado, let's dive right into the video. So the first and most important strategy when it comes to fixing the glute imbalances is to specifically fix the specific muscle that is weak. And that could be either the gluteus maximus, which is the big muscle overall, or it could be the smaller gluteus medius and the minimus muscle, which are the side muscles. So how do you know if that is the maximus or the medius that is weak? So if that is the medius, then it's your side glute is gonna be smaller overall on one side. Whereas if it is the gluteus maximus, then you're gonna see that that entire glute on one side is smaller than the other. So how do you fix that? To see if it is really the gluteus medius that is weak, you're gonna first do a fire hydrant. You are going to abduct the leg on one side, but if that is the side that is weak, you're gonna find your body automatically leaning onto the stronger side. One specific movement on how to target the gluteus medius is the one where you squat with a resistance band. So you're gonna need a pretty long resistance band, and you can ask your friend or workout partner to pull it, or you can tie that long resistance band onto a pole or something like that. And what you're gonna do is simply tie the resistance band and then wrap it around the weak leg. And you want to have it in the direction against the abduction. So when you squat down and then when you squat back up, when you put your body back up, you have to mindfully resist that resistance band and you have to abduct the weaker leg out. So you are using more of the abduction muscles of the weak glute when you are doing the squat movement. And if the weak muscle that you want to fix is the gluteus maximus, then you want to try more of the hip extension movement. So you could do single leg hip thrust. Make sure that it is not the quads and the hamstrings that are taking over the glutes, because normally what it happens with the weak glute is that the other leg muscles take over so that your weak muscle isn't working. Your body actually tries to not use the weak muscle paradoxically. So you want to mindfully contract your glute muscle and adjust your stance so that you can feel more in your glute muscles. Another exercise where you can fix the gluteus maximus imbalance is do the hip thrust with 1 foot elevated. So you're gonna put the weak leg lower down and you're gonna put the stronger leg higher up the elevated position. Do the hip thrust up, and when you do this, you will feel that your weaker side have to work even harder because the distance from the ground to pushing the weight up is even further. So it has to work more and put more force as a result of it. So that one will specifically work on the gluteus maximus. The second tip is to do more of the unilateral exercises. So I have a bit covered it on the earlier tip, but this one we are going to dive deep into doing the specific unilateral movements that will fix your glute imbalance. There are so many unilateral exercises that you can do. Some of them are single leg hip thrust, as I said before, or single leg deadlift, single leg squats, so many single leg things that you can do. However, here I'm going to be sharing with you like really creative and really like new exercises that you may not have heard of anywhere else for fixing the glute imbalance. There are 4 exercises that I want you to use in particular. So one of them is the front feet elevated lunges, and you're gonna put your weaker leg at the front and you're gonna keep it elevated. And when you do the lunges, you are going to feel the stretch more on your weaker glute, and you're gonna do more reps, more sets, more of the exercises in that position, more than doing that with the stronger leg at the front. And the other exercise, quite similar to that, is the front feet elevated step ups. And similar to the previous one, you're gonna put the weaker leg at the front. And so you're gonna feel that stretch again, and you're gonna be working more on that weak glute again. And then you are going to use that weak glute to really thrust your body upwards. You're gonna tilt the pelvis forward while keeping your core tight. Now this one is really good, especially if your muscle that is weak is the gluteus maximus. Now the next 2 movements are also feet elevated. You can put 2 barbell plates, one on top of each other, and you can try that. And one of them is the lateral feet elevated lunges. I think the other name for that is, people call it the Cossack squat or something. I don't know. But anyways, here I am showing you the form of that movement. So what you're gonna do is put the weak leg not elevated. So it's gonna be on the ground, the stronger leg is gonna be elevated, and you are going to do like a squatting position, but leaning toward the weaker side. And so therefore your weak glute has to work more. And the next one is quite similar to that. That's the lateral feet elevated squat. That's simply a normal squat, except your weak leg is gonna be down on the ground and the stronger leg is gonna be up the 2 barbell plates. And therefore your weak leg or the weak glute has to work more in order to push the weight upwards. So yeah, these are very specific and strategic movements that you can include more in your workouts in order to fix the glute imbalances. And third tip is to push the weak leg in close to failure as much as the strong leg. One way you can do this is by incorporating single leg exercises at the end of every bilateral exercises. So what I mean by that is, for example, when you do a squat, you are going to do a full barbell squat. What you want to do is immediately after that, following that, you want to do like pistol squats, single leg squats with the weaker leg only. And by that way, you are making sure that muscles on your weak leg are actually being pushed till almost failure. Normally what would happen with the glute imbalances is that the muscle fibers, all of them, they are only firing at the stronger side but not the weak side. But however, by making sure that you're adding that extra contraction even at the end of a really heavy workout compound movement, you are making sure that the weak side is also being pushed pretty close to failure. So that is what you can do at more pistol squats, or even like single leg hip thrust in between every normal hip thrust with the weak leg. So yeah, adding like easy body weight exercises at the end of a very hard exercises, so you would be like supersetting them together. Number 4 is pretty similar to the third point that I just said, which is to activate more of the weaker glute. So what you can do is do more of the activation warm-ups of the weak glute only before you start the workout. And that will make sure that more of the weak glute muscle and more of those muscle fibers are activated throughout the entire movement. And what you can also do is to slow down your exercises. Do like, for example, tempo squats, eccentric squats, and you're gonna take, you know, a really slow tempo, like 3 to 4 seconds on the eccentric phase. And during that movement, you are only going to think and focus on the weak glute. Imagine as if, you know, it's only your weak glute that is squatting down. Even though both of them are squatting down, you're gonna imagine and you're only going to focus, mindfully contract on the weak glute. Now that is going to practice more of the mind-muscle connection that we want. And also, in order to really help with that mind-muscle connection, you could also incorporate isometric contractions. For example, like holding at the end of a hip thrust, specifically with the weaker leg, weaker glute at the end of a normal hip thrust. Doing like isometric squat, mainly with one leg at the end of a barbell squat. And number 5 is to add more sets and reps, but in a very strategic fashion, because as I said before, doing just simply more reps is not going to work, because the form is just going to break down and your stronger leg is going to take over. So what you want to do instead is to use the weak leg first, so that it's not exhausted. You know, you are using your energy more on the weak one, and then do it pretty close to failure. For example, let's say you are doing a pistol squat with that leg for 10 reps, but then the other leg you can do like 15 reps. However, you are going to stop it around like 12 reps. You don't really want it to be even further ahead than the weaker leg. You're going to do 12 with the stronger one, and then after finishing the set, you're going to do, for example, 5 more with the weaker leg. So with the weaker leg, you're going to do 15 total, and with the stronger one, you're going to do 12 total. But for the 15, it's like split up into the 10 and the 5. So you don't really feel like, it's not like you can't do it. Even if you fail before, you're still gonna be pushing more and using more of the reps with the weaker leg. And number 6 is to stretch. It is so important for your muscles to stretch and relax in order to help them grow. And sometimes it's not necessarily that the weak leg is weak. It could be that the strong leg is super tight, and therefore it's just constantly contracting. Like it's contracting even when you walk normally, it's even contracting more. So what you want to do is stretch out the glutes. You can do that after each and every workout. You can foam roll, you can do normal stretches. For example, the figure 4 stretch, you can do that seated or on the floor. You can do pigeon squat, or sometimes you may even want to do more of the quad and the hamstring exercises, because it is not the glute that is super tight, but also the quads and hamstrings that are, which is making you have the imbalance. So yeah, these are the 6 tips and strategies, but if you make this so far, I want to thank you, and I also want to give a special gift for you, which is a lower body workout catalog that contains over 100 exercises. It contains specific muscles, exercises to target specific muscles. So if you want to grab it, you want to grab it down below. And also, if you still have trouble growing the glutes and not wondering why you are reaching a plateau, or you just somehow can't make it happen because of your lack of consistency, or you don't know what to do with the gym, what to do with the workouts, what to eat, etc., like feel free to book a call with me. So click on the application link down below and we'll talk on a call, and I will give you specific strategies that you can implement on your training based on what you have been doing right or what you have been doing wrong. And on this call, I can help you find out if I can really help you in order to get that slim, thick transformation. And even if I can't help you, I'm going to refer it to you to someone who can help. So if you really need that help, like link is down in my bio in order to book that application for my 90-day transformation program, which is called Grow Body and Mind. And yeah, we are going to grow our muscles, our mindset, and everything in order to unlock our highest version of ourselves. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. And I will see you with more tips later on the next video.